Well, one Maryland lawmaker is trying to send the PC police packing. Republican State Senator J.B. Jennings is trying to push through legislation that would put a dent in zero-tolerance policies at school, like the one that got a little boy suspended for eating a pastry into the shape of a gun.
Is this proposal a good idea, and what is going on with our schools? Fox News contributor Jedediah Bila is here. She's a former teacher, by the way. That might give us some perspective. You taught. Did anybody ever pull a croissant on you or threaten you with a cheese Danish? Or...
No, that didn't happen. We had a lot of issues around Halloween costumes, though, being racially insensitive. Heaven forbid a kid come to school with white paint on his face paint, or brown paint, or black paint. You had to wonder what the consequence of that was going to be. And there is a hypersensitivity and a political correctness going on. I've taught middle school, high school, and college, and this is prevalent. I was not surprised to see these stories popping up in the news at all.
And of course, there is a hypersensitivity, particularly in light of Newtown and the school shooting there.
Right.
And obviously, there's a zero-tolerance policy about guns and weapons. However, it seems as though teachers have really sort of lost their common sense. Chewing a Pop-Tart into the shape of a gun or a pastry of some kind is not going to hurt anybody.
Yeah, and oftentimes what happens is these students then get suspended, and that goes on their permanent academic record, which is what this particular senator is trying to prevent, because then that affects their performance over the years, that affects the way they view themselves, that affects the way teachers view them. All of a sudden they become this problem child for an act that really just is them kids being kids. They don't understand the consequences of these things, because essentially in most cases they're not doing anything wrong, and you have parents sitting down with kids trying to explain to them why, you know, biting their cookie into the shape of a gun or doing this in a playground because they're playing cops and robbers is all of a sudden a crime, so to speak, at a school level. So it's really going to take parental involvement and parental outrage on these issues to come forward and say, I'm not going to tolerate this, you know, and affect the school board that way and affect the culture of the school by saying, we're not going to tolerate this behavior toward our kids. They've done nothing wrong.
Well, here's what's so troubling about it. I mean, you want teachers who are not simply well-informed and smart, but who are wise. That's the thing you hope for most as a parent when you send your kids off to school, and you want them to be wise so they can develop good instincts in your kids. How many teachers would you say there are who can't discern between a pastry and a firearm?
There's a fear, though, around school culture now. There's a fear of offending. There's a fear that parents are going to respond a certain way. So political correctness has become the safe avenue for everyone. This is how we can avoid a problem, by being hypersensitive and politically correct and make everything into, okay, you need to be punished for pretty much everything. So everything that involves a gun, be it someone actually taking a firearm to school, which would be a horrific incident, and someone biting a cookie into the shape of a firearm, are oftentimes treated the exact same way with a suspension. That's what zero tolerance really means, that you're not really looking at these things on a case-by-case basis anymore, but you're generalizing and creating these one-size-fits-all treatments, which makes absolutely no sense, because all of these situations are different.
And it's too bad that we need legislation to try to tell teachers that a cookie can be a cookie.
Yeah.
Sometimes a cookie is just a cookie.
Right. Exactly.
So, Jedediah Bila, thanks so much.
Thank you so much.